and welcome to another video here on my YouTube channel. Today I had a conversation with somebody on Instagram and we were talking about ways that she could get her family to eat more healthy foods. And I know this is a common struggle among so many people that I thought I'd make a video about what we discussed, and hopefully it can help some of you help your family to get more healthy foods in. Thank you again for spending some time with me here on my YouTube channel. Before we begin, don't forget we've got 40% off any or all of our raw vegan recipe ebooks. So if you are looking for fun, awesome new ways to get more raw foods into your family, whether they're raw, vegan, or not, check out our recipes because we've got some fun ones that people who are not interested in healthy food have been loving. We have so many people message and say, my kids love the wraps, my partner loves the burger, my mom is loving the soup or whatever. So there's so many different recipes that you can make for your family and friends that are healthier options and delicious at the same time. So check those out. Code RAWFOOD40 if you want to get the 40% off discount when you grab any or all of the recipe ebooks that you want. So let's talk about getting your family to eat more healthy foods. Obviously, this is going to help you eat more healthy foods as well, and you care about your family. You want them to be eating healthier choices. So some of the ways that you can do this are, number one, communicate with them. Get them involved as well, because sometimes when you're just making stuff randomly out of the blue, maybe they don't like certain things, maybe they weren't interested in that flavor or whatever. Ask them what they like. What fruits do they like? What vegetables do they really like? What spices do they like? Maybe they really enjoy curry stuff. Maybe they prefer Italian flavored things. What kinds of foods do they like? Do they really like carrots or do they really like mango? And you can involve those specific foods more in the things you're making them, which will help them to want to eat those things a little bit more because they have some of their favorite foods in them. Then you make your food. Say you are doing a raw vegan salad and you add a lot of carrots to it because they like carrots, and you've got like maybe a sweet date dressing and they like spicy stuff too, or whatever it is. Say you're making your salad with the ingredients that they really like in it. Then you make their food, whatever it is that they're eating as well, and then you have a little bit of your salad as a side dish for each person, and they get to try a little bit of your food without you really even saying like, eat this, right? You're just sharing it with them and they have a little side bowl of it and they can taste it and test it out without having to commit to an all raw meal. Maybe it's a great way to introduce them to more raw foods, and if they really like it, take a mental note and make it more often for them. Because if they like it, obviously, you're gonna wanna make it again for them. If they don't like it, take a mental note and say, well, they didn't really like that carrot salad that I made. Maybe they'll like something else with apples and raisins in it or something. So every time you make something, share a little bit with them along with their cooked foods or whatever else they're eating. Because that way, again, like I said, they don't have to commit to eating an all raw meal. They can still enjoy what they want to eat, but they're also enjoying a little bit of yours. So you can slowly introduce more raw foods and different meals into their life without having to force them into eating something all raw, for example. You also want to get them involved. Not only do you want to communicate with them and ask them what their favorite things are, but you also want to get them involved in the process. So if that's washing some of the vegetables or chopping some of them if they're old enough, or having them help you out somehow, and also getting involved in other things like growing a garden, for example, or growing the microgreens that are gonna go on top of the food that you're making them, so that they feel more involved in the process. And I know this can be really challenging because they want to do something else, they might not want to be involved, but if you can make it fun, then sometimes they're more into it, and especially if it's something that they're excited to make, they're more likely to be involved with you as well. That brings me to something that this person I was chatting with said, I need to do more yums, like express how much she enjoys her food with her family. Obviously, you don't want to go overboard with it, but like when you're eating, be like, this is so good. Did you enjoy it? Oh, it's really good. Like, this is so delicious. Share your yums with your family so that they know that you're really enjoying your food. You're not eating it out of boredom or because you have to or whatever, because that can create a lot of like, mom just eats boring foods or whatever it is, right? We want to show how much we enjoy eating the foods that we eat, because enjoyment creates enjoyment. And if you're enjoying something, people might be like, I want to try that too, right? And be the example. You are the example that your family members are watching. They're seeing, again, you yumming or you changing your health, feeling more energetic, having better relationships with your family because you're now in a well-fed state. You're not feeling exhausted all the time. They're gonna see that over time. You're gonna become that example. And when they say, hey, I've noticed you've changed a lot or you're more energetic, and you say, well, you know, I think it's really because I've changed my diet and I've been eating more of these foods that I've been sharing with you. And when they see that, they're more likely to hop on board as well. And when it comes to the little kids, obviously having them do things like washing the vegetables is easy. But create stories around the fruits and vegetables if you can. If you are creative that way, you could create stories around it, have them shop and pick out their own apples for their salad or whatever green they want to pick out. Have them pick it out and tell stories around the foods, like how amazing it is, or teach them trivia about it, like this has lots of vitamin C and vitamin C keeps you healthy, or this has a lot of calcium, it's gonna help you grow strong. And creating little stories around the food, making them mystical maybe if you have to or want to, can really help the kids be a little more interested, or explaining to them how they grew. Show them videos on how food is grown. There's lots of time-lapse videos of like beans growing or watermelons or whatever. Show them those. Show them how it is grown and get them in connection with the foods and tell them stories. This can really help with kids. And finger foods are also really awesome. Veggies and dip is really cool. Little bite-sized kinds of things. Those are great for kids as well. Even if they're still eating their thing, add a couple little bite-sized fun things that are raw to their diet if you're trying to get them to eat more raw food. Next up, obviously having healthy options on hand is going to make a big difference, and try your best to avoid purchasing those foods that you know aren't really the greatest. But again, like, we all live in this world and not everyone is ready to change yet, but do your best to provide awesome healthy choices for your family. If you are the one making a lot of the food, have fresh fruit available. Kids are really gonna enjoy that too, and have things that are available to grab and go. Like maybe you have a spouse that is always rushing to get to work or busy all the time. You could have the raw vegan wraps ready for them to take to work and fill them with their favorite vegetables and have their favorite sauce available so they can just grab and go. It's going to make things a lot easier, but you do have to plan and prep in advance to make sure that you have those available for the family. And don't give up. A lot of people who try to get their family to eat a lot more raw foods tend to give up a little easier when their family just immediately doesn't like a specific dish. They're like, well, I'm not even gonna try anymore because they didn't like it or whatever. Don't give up. Just because they don't like one dish doesn't mean that they won't like something else that you make. So try different things. Maybe they weren't in a curry mood that night when you made a curry dressing. Maybe they were looking for something a little sweeter or a little more savory, or maybe a little spicier or not as spicy. Try different recipes and different combinations of food and see what they like. Don't give up, because you might find some recipes that they absolutely love. And when you do, add those to the menu rotation. Make them more often, because if they like them and they're gonna eat them, make it for them. And finally, go slow with them. Have patience, because it didn't take you overnight to make all of these changes. It's a slow process for most of us, if not all of us, we go through processes and eventually we're ready to make a change, but not everyone is going to be there. So having patience with the people that you love the most, don't get angry if they don't like something that you've made. Don't take offense to it, because everyone's tastes are going to be different and we want to try to include everybody. And like I said, if they have something cooked with a little bit of raw, at least they don't have to commit fully to a raw meal that they didn't like. And at least they can try it. And if they don't like it, don't take offense. Don't get mad. Don't get resentful or angry or throw it out like in a mad rush or whatever. Just say, oh, that's okay. That's really good. Thank you for sharing that with me. I'm glad to know that you weren't in the mood for curry tonight, or you don't like spicy food, or I didn't know that you didn't like onions, and that's okay. Next time we'll make something totally different and we'll see if you enjoy that. And thank them for sharing that with you, because when we start to get mad at people for sharing something that might make us feel a little less than, because it's like, we made that salad and we feel hurt if they don't like it. But if we express that, then they're gonna stop sharing with us. So we have to give them that space and validate them and realize that not everyone's gonna like everything that you're gonna eat or make. So remember, pull back, have patience, and keep going. Keep making your family some awesome stuff and see what they like and go from there. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click like. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you want to enjoy more raw foods, if you're looking for raw foods to add to your family's diet and to your diet, check out our recipes. A lot of them are kid-friendly, kid-approved, spouse-approved. We've had lots of people tell us that their family have been really thoroughly enjoying our recipes. So go check them out. 40% off code is rawfood40. Make them some delicious wraps of all kinds, burgers, tacos. I mean, everyone loves tacos, come on. So you can make them tacos, salads and salad dressings. There's a lot of kid-friendly dressings. Kids really enjoy the sweetness of the dressings as well. And smoothies and ice cream. There's so many fun recipes in our ebooks. Again, check them out. 40% off code is rawfood40. Link in the description box below or here on the screen. I love you all so much. Thank you again for joining me today for another video. We'll be back next week for another one. Until then, mwah, I love you and fruit on.